Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, May 6th. My name is Lance. I'm going to be your host today on 20 Minute Trader TV. If this is your first time here at a session with us, welcome in. We're super excited to see you and thankful that you're here. And if you've been on any of our other sessions before, if you've been with me on the earlier sessions, welcome back. Good to see you again. Now, we're going to get into some live trading for you guys. Really excited to give you an over the shoulder look as to what 20-minute traders do each and every day. It's really why I'm here today. Jeremy had asked me to do some live trading for the world just for that purpose, right? So you guys can get a feel for how our system operates, get your questions answered, and just kind of stay along for the ride. Now, 20-minute trader as a whole, if you've been hearing that term being thrown out, maybe by somebody you know or just in social media, 20-minute trading, really, the way we like to think of it, is a trading movement. We really created it for the beginner slash non-trader to be able to get into the markets in ways that aren't really quite intimidating, in ways that really you weren't able to before. Right? So a lot of trading strategies out there, they may require you to be on the charts for a large amount of time when we simply have jobs and careers and families and things that go on each and every day. We simply can't dedicate that time to being on the charts. So a 20-minute trader allows us to, hence in the name, be on the charts for only about 20 to maybe 30 minutes a day. Um, Now, of course, you can dedicate more time to it, but it's not required. It doesn't require you to look at any crazy complex indicators with technical analysis. We're just looking for a repeatable shape-based system, and you don't need any fancy software. We just simply need a internet connection, reliable internet connection, and you can do 20-minute trading. So we're going to get into these charts. We are on a zero to payout journey on this process. So I wanted you guys to see what it would be like starting a prop firm challenge, passing that challenge, and then potentially getting a prop firm payout. So you guys can see the highs, the lows, and everything in between, and just kind of describing my thoughts along that way. So let's just get into it. I don't want to, uh, you know, waste anybody's time here. I just want to jump straight into the trading so you can get what you came for. So on our charts, we are on tradingview.com for our charting platform as well as our trading platform. Now we are on a 1 second time frame. May seem a little crazy off the bat, trading on 1 second line charts, but we're looking for such precise scalping movements, which just means quick trades. We don't need to be looking at a higher time frame, an hour-long time frame, daily time frame, because we wouldn't have any idea that these movements are happening. So that's why we're on a 1 second chart. Now, what we're actually going to be trading is going to be the blue line, which is going to be the S&P 500 futures, or ES as the ticker symbol. So the S&P 500 futures is what we're actually buying and selling. So it's not Forex, not crypto. We're not trading direct shares of stocks. We're simply in the futures market, which is open 23 hours a day, 5 days a week. So if you're someone that wants to trade earlier in the day, you totally can. But if you're someone that wants to trade totally later at night, you can also do so, which is amazing. The only place it's closed is from 5 Eastern to 6 Eastern. So that's the only time of no trading. There are, of course, more times that are ideal than others, but you can trade at any time of the day. Now, the orange line on our chart is not what we're trading. It's just going to help us to spot our entry points. That's actually going to be the Dow Jones Index, right? It's very common. You probably have heard of the S&Ps and the Dow Jones, right? And then the white line down here, the RSI, is just going to show us which way is the market moving stronger, to the upside or the downside, right? So if it's stronger to the upside, you'll see this white line kind of posting up towards the top, and then vice versa. If it's stronger to the downside, this white line will be kind of towards the bottom portion of this purple graph. All right, so we have some trend lines, which essentially all that means is showing you the average direction of the blue and orange lines over the last, say, couple of minutes. All we are looking for is the relationship between the blue and the orange trend lines. I just want to see them going in separate directions, or different directions, I should say. We're always going to be trading in the direction of the blue line. So right now we see the blue line pointing up as the orange line is now pointing down. So in my mind, I think that price, or the blue line of what we're trading, would go higher at this point in time. Right now, I'm just kind of talking you through what I'm looking for. I'm not going to enter this trade. I feel like we're a little bit late to it, but just kind of setting the stage for exactly what we're looking for here. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. We don't want to see them going parallel. We just want to see them going kind of making an X shape, or that Pac-Man style shape, if you will. So right now we're just going to hold off and just wait for that. You'll see my prop firm account here using Apex Trader funding. We'll go over that in a little bit as well. My account balance is 50,422. The goal of this challenge is to get that up to 53,000 so that we can pass our prop firm account and then potentially get a payout. So we're trucking on along. We're almost there. Not really almost there, but we're making progress. Okay, so we still see the blue line is pointing up as the orange line is relatively staying flat. What I don't want them to do is start to close into each other, right, and start to go parallel. I just want to see them staying in this separate direction here. And then all I'm really looking for, if they can stay in that separate direction, which doesn't seem like they are, would just be a slight pop down of the RSI or this white line here. So until we get something looking like that, we're just going to wait. As you guys have questions, please feel free to drop them in the chats wherever you're tuning in from, and I'll do my best to get to each and every one of those comments and questions. Now we've learned a lot. We started our zero to payout challenge probably about 2.5 weeks ago. We have learned a lot. We won some, we lost some more. We were trading at an earlier time frame, which the market was just a little bit too slow, in my opinion. Not saying that you can't or that you shouldn't trade that time, just from what it seemed like we were catching these kind of dead zones to where the market was stalling out. Maybe it was just for that week, but I feel more comfortable trading this time personally. So that's why we changed it up a little bit as well. All right, so we see the blue line going flat as the orange line is going up, but now it looks like both lines will be going up. If the blue line stayed flat, I would be betting on price going down. Now, the good thing about futures in general, especially with our system, is that you can trade when the market goes up or it goes down. So you don't need a ton of money to bet on the market going down. So we'll kind of show some examples of how we can make money with the market going down. That would be considered a short position. What is the win rate on this strategy? Yeah, great question. So it's hard to give like an average win rate. I don't know if we quite have an average win rate for all the students, right? Because it's totally different. But for me personally, I find that if I stick to my rules and everything like that, I can typically stay around mid 60s to low 70% win rate, from my experience. And then that's over a long period of time, right? So there are going to be months where I can't seem to lose a trade. There's going to be weeks where I just can't seem to win a trade. So it's important to look at it over a long period of time. And usually that's where my statistics go into play. But for the average student, I don't have that data, wouldn't be able to give a solid number on that. I just always go off of my personal. What is indicators? Yeah, so these trend lines here are 20-minute trader indicators. So not something that you probably put on your chart at the moment. But other than that, just the RSI is the only indicator I'm using. But we see the blue line up, orange line flat. I think price is going to go higher. We just want to see a little pop down of the RSI, which we get right there. So I'm going to go long, which means that I'm betting on price going up after I enter in. Okay. So I'm going to have a stop loss and a take profit on this trade. So let me just adjust these a little bit for a slower market. So essentially, all I want to see is, if I can just move this down a touch, move this here a little bit. All right. All I want to see is price, the blue line, hit this red line right up here. That's what I want to see. So we're almost there. We're up about 40 bucks right now. I think I'm set to make about 75 bucks and lose just about the same if I do lose this trade. My stop loss, which means if I hit that value, it will close me out for a loss, is going to be this number, this line down here. So I'm just looking for that last little push up. Look how close we were. Come on, guys. We're so close. We're right there. Just one little push up. That's all we need. We see the relationship. The orange line is pointing down as the blue line is staying up. So that's showing me that price probably wants to continue higher. We just need that last little leg. So what you could do in this scenario is do what's called a trailing stop loss, which means that I'm going to move my stop loss. Oh, never mind. Too late. What I was going to do is move my stop loss into profit. So that worst case scenario, I went break even on the trade. But unfortunately, the trade kind of reversed before I was able to do that. So that's a way you could do what's called trade management. Unfortunately, the trade just missed our TP. Look how close that was, guys. So close. And right now we are currently in the red. So if we kind of get back in the green, I will do that stop loss movement. But other than that, I'll kind of just let the trade play out. Seems like we just had an unfortunate turn of events there. Did you hear about that huge trade about oil? Do you think that was insider trading? I don't know. It's hard to say. Probably. At the end of the day, that's how I feel like a lot of this kind of operates sometimes with those larger orders. Who knows at the end of the day, right? It's all speculation. But if I were a conspiracy theorist, I would probably say yes. Seems a little too coincidental, in my opinion. So I'm going to actually exit this trade at break even right here for a very small loss. Um, the reason why is because I see the blue line going down as the orange line is going up. So I would think that price would probably go lower, which it might not. But I'm just going to go break even on that trade. We just missed our take profit, so unfortunate turn of events. But I'll take $0 or a $5 loss as opposed to a $100 loss there. Totally fine with that. How do I get started as a newbie? Yeah, great question. So there's many different ways you can do what's called paper trading, where it's just simulated trading. You could do that directly on TradingView. But if you kind of like the style of trading that you're seeing and you're just a little more interested and you want to get more questions answered live, comment the word more. We're going to DM you an absolutely free ticket to our upcoming web class. And you can just kind of see how to get your chart set up and just dive into 20-minute trader as a whole. So definitely comment the word more if you're on Instagram or Facebook, get your free ticket. And if you're on YouTube or Twitch, just click the link in the description and you can claim your ticket there. So we currently see them moving parallel, and it looks like it was a pretty good choice to jump out of that long trade for break even, right? Because we would have taken a full loss on that trade. So unfortunate, right? We saw the spike up that we were kind of looking for. We just missed our take profit. Probably would have been a good idea to go short once I saw that difference in direction, but I don't love taking trades back to back to back like that, as it can cause for some frustration if you win one and you lose the other, but you should have stayed in, all the things, right? Now, on the note of the prop firms, as we're kind of waiting for some more trades here, you'll notice that my account, like I said, is at 50,400. Now, what did I spend to get this, or how does that even work? Well, prop firms are essentially companies that will allow me to get access to large amounts of capital for a very little comparatively to the amount they give me of my own money. So for this specific account, to get access to 50 grand of trading capital, I had to spend $35. So you might think, well, why would a company do that for such a high risk on their end? Well, the truth is that the initial 50 grand, they're not just sending me a check in the mail or anything like that. It's simulated funds. Okay, so the first step is called the evaluation or a paper trading challenge. So the goal is for them to be shown by you that you know how to trade, right? Your goal is to prove I can make money with this. If I can, then they'll give you the capital. So what does that look like in practice? Well, we start at 50,000. If we can get to our goal of 53,000, then and only then will they say, okay, you clearly know what you're doing. So we're actually going to give you the 50 grand so that you can start to make a profit from your additional trades, which typically the prop firm will take 10% and you will keep 90% of those withdrawn profits as the trader, which is super good, super favorable for us. So that is really cool that you can access that amount of capital for just a small investment of anywhere from 30 to maybe even 75 bucks, depending on the prop firm. Do you go for small TP or do you want to go for those 1K wins? Yeah, great question. So for me, I don't love going for the huge winners, and I'll tell you why. So with these prop firm accounts, typically your goal is to get 3,000, but your max loss, meaning that the rule is if you go $2,000 in the red from 50,000, so 48, you will lose the account and they'll shut you off. Doesn't mean they shut you off permanently. It just means for that specific account, and you just have to buy another account and try again. So if I try to go for these $1,000 wins, well, typically my losses are the same, if not just slightly more because of fees, which means that I'm only giving myself about maybe 2 trades on a max of loss. And I've lost 2 trades in a row many a times. It happens. So I don't like to go for those big wins. I'll typically like to go for anywhere from $100 to $200. But the other reason to that is because with prop firms, you can do what's called copy trading. Copy trading essentially means that I can have multiple prop firm accounts all taking the exact same trades at the exact same time without me having to place additional trades. So on that last trade that you saw, when I hit that button, if I had 9 other accounts, 10 total, that would mean that I would take 10 trades with one click of a button, right? So they'd all copy in the background. And if I made $100 on that trade times 10, I really would have made 1,000, right? Granted, if I lost 100, yeah, I'd lose 1,000, but you get the point. So that's my other reason as to why I go for the small ones, so that I can minimize my risk on the accounts, keep them healthy long term, but then also by using copy trading, be able to scale to a large number. So it's like the best of both worlds. You can still get that type of profit without over risking yourself. Now all those prop firms cost money. So if I wanted 10 accounts times 35 bucks, it's not the craziest amount of money in the world, but it is not it's not chump change. It's a couple $100. So it's not something you'd probably do off the bat if you don't want to spend that amount of money. It's something more advanced when you get down the track and you're more confident, all the things. But it's one of those things that you can reinvest into your trading business, right? And that's kind of how we look at it. All right, so we see the blue line pointing down, we see the orange line going up. I think price, meaning the blue line of what we're trading, is going to continue down further, which it does, but didn't allow me to enter in just yet. So all I'm looking for is a little spike up of the RSI, so I can get myself a little discount, right? I want to buy low, sell high. I don't want to buy high and try and sell higher. Now, if the lines go parallel again, it's going to be, unfortunately, another trade opportunity we may have missed out on. Which it looks like it might be. Does this work with other stocks that aren't the S&P 500? For sure, yeah. I mean, we typically are only trading futures, so I'm not going to say that like it works with Apple or Microsoft. I just have no idea. But in terms of futures, we've also traded gold with this strategy, and it works quite well. I'm sure other futures tickers may work as well, but those are kind of the two we focus on here. So we like to keep it as simple as possible and usually only decide between one or two things. But in my experience, it's usually better to just pick one and stick with that for an extended amount of time before you switch back and forth. Correct. Yes, from Tank, yeah. So you don't blow a single account, correct. That doesn't mean you won't blow one. You could go through a losing streak. But yeah, that's the concept. So we just got a huge spike up. So at this time, I forgot, I haven't traded this time in a little while. At 3:50 Eastern time, that is when the market starts to go a little bit crazy. So from about 3:30 to 3:50 is our kind of trading window for this time session. And from 3:50 to 4, it can be a little bit more hectic. It's not that you shouldn't trade during that time. But it's just because all the people are trying to get their last orders in before the stock exchange closes. and things like that. Even though the futures market doesn't close until 5, for whatever reason, it's just correlated um, to the overall stock market as well. Can you go over entry criteria again from James? 100%. So all I'm looking for is are the blue and the orange lines. Right now, like you said, it's a little hard to see because they're on top of each other, and that's the exact point, right? So we don't want to see them moving parallel. Like literally, you can't even see the orange line. That's how parallel they are. But essentially, I want to see the blue line going up as the orange line is going down, or vice versa. And then I'm always taking a trade in the direction of the blue line. So if the blue line's up, I'm only looking for longs or betting on price going up after I enter. And the last step of the criteria is if I see blue up, orange down, I just want to see a pop down of this white line, the RSI, to give myself a little bit of a discount. If I can do that, then typically we'll see kind of the blue line pop on up towards our take profit. So let me know if that makes sense. But right now we've only taken one trade. Yeah, we took one trade and we were relatively break even on it. So that's totally fine. There are going to be some days where we just don't trade a lot. Most sessions we'll try and take a max of 3 to 4 trades. But again, it's only 20 minutes. And that's the beautiful thing about it. We don't need to spend hours and hours on the charts. If there's nothing to 20 minutes, that's fine. We go on with the rest of our day. But like I said, let's see if we can get one trade here before market closes. And if you like anything you're hearing and you just want to learn more about 20-minute trader as a whole, comment the word more. Get your absolutely free ticket to the upcoming web class. And if you're on YouTube or Twitch, click the link in the description and get that free ticket as well. What strategies and indicators? So strategy, kind of what I was just going into with the difference in the direction of the blue and the orange lines, simple 20-minute trader strategy. That's all we do. And then the indicator is just the RSI and these trend line indicators. That is a 20-minute trader special indicator. All right, so you see how they're starting to separate now? The blue line is going flat as the orange line is going down. So in my mind, I think price would probably continue higher, most likely. I just want to see a little pop down of the RSI for me to jump in. Right, very clear difference in direction. That is what we're looking for. Just want it to pop down a little bit more. Make sure we get greedy on the discount. All right, so that's the little discount I'm looking for. And yeah, let's see if we get a nice push up of price of this blue line right up to the red line. And we'll end off the day with some money. We're up about 12 bucks, 25 bucks. We just need that last little leg up, right? That last push that we're hoping for. Come on, guys. 30 bucks, 50 bucks. Come on. Oh, no, we just missed again. Can't make this up, guys. Look how close we were once again. I'm going to move this down a touch my take profit. I think we might be trying to aim for too high right now. But in any sense, there we go. Oh, close me out there. Close me out there for a winning trade. Okay. So it looks like it made 50 bucks on that trade. Right up there. But in any sense, you guys understand the concept, right? We just missed our take profit again. Moved it down just a little bit, and we hit it right there over here. So just the relationship between the blue and the orange. Sometimes TradingView can be a little finicky towards the end of the day from what I've seen. But anyway, we made money on that, so I'll take it. So we took two trades for the session. We won one, we lost one, so we're up about 75 bucks, give or take, for the session, maybe a little less, which for trading for 25 minutes isn't too bad, especially if you're able to copy trade and all those things. So not a bad day overall. Let me see if anybody has any questions here. We're also going to have guests on the show over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we can get Big Jeremy on here as well one of these days. But we're going to continue to trade at this time. And yeah, we're trucking on along. We're pretty much at 50,500. We need 2,500 more to pass this account. So we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Market is getting ready to close here in the next hour. Now for Apex Trader funding, right now they are 90% off. So really, really nice discounts on their account. So like I said, this 50K challenge cost me $34, pretty much 35, give or take. If you want to get 90% off, feel free to use our code, our discount code, 20MT, 20MT. We would appreciate that. That would help us out and continue to give back to the great mentors in our community. But yeah, you can use any code, but 20MT will get you 90% off at the current price, which is amazing. What do the blue and orange lines represent? Yeah, so these are just called trend lines. Essentially, all that means is which way are they trending over the last, say, 1 to 3 minutes, right? So we see that overall, since the lines are pointing down for the last couple of minutes, then that trend line will be on that downward slope as well. So it just helps us to not get caught in looking at too small of movements. Right, even though we are on a 1 second time frame, it allows you to see the overall picture of the movement over the last couple of minutes. Are you still using MACD for the U pattern? Yeah, so for that, yeah, we're not using the MACD for this system with the gold pattern trading, but for the U shape, yeah. We're seeing some very violent spikes at the moment, so it's probably one of those times where you would just kind of walk away and say, all right, the market is being a little bit unpredictable at this point in time, so I'll kind of take my winnings for the day and cash out and be done. All right, but just to show you proof of concept, blue line is up, orange line is down. Price most likely wants to go higher from here based on my experience. Just looking for that little pop down of the RSI, right, which happens right there. Now this is a very sharp spike, so maybe you wouldn't enter there, but in an ideal world, it would kind of come down a little bit slower, a little bit, so that we can kind of look for a push up, right? Like I said, because of how sharp of a spike that was, might not be the best looking entry. And how are they fixated to the two trends? Yeah, so I mean, they're 20-minute trader indicators, so they're created for that specific purpose. I'm not really a tech guy in terms of all of that, like the fundamental behind it, but it's just tracking the movements of the blue and orange lines. And just plotting right on top of it. I think this is going to be a really good month. I think this is going to be a really good month, guys. We're coming out a little bit of a losing streak, which is always good to see us turning the corner there. But I was, during that time, we didn't lose our account, but I did restart because I think it was kind of fitting for the new time change. But I was kind of just talking about whatever strategy you're trading. For all the traders out there, if you just gotten started, excuse me, or if you've been trading for a while, as you go through a losing streak, it's important to understand that if you know you have a decent system, whatever that system may be, you want to make sure that you stick to it best as you can and that you're sticking to a risk management plan. For me, that was taking 3 trades, only risking about 1 to 200 per trade. I was able to stick to that, and it allowed me that even though I was losing a decent amount of the days because of war and things in the news and all the stuff that's out of our control, we were still able to be healthy in our accounts. So we're making sure that our losing days are not blowing weeks worth, months worth, potentially years worth of hard work in our trading accounts. Okay, so if you are going through losing streak, just remember it's all probability based. At a certain point, you will start to win trades. You would start to go through a winning streak, right? Everyone thinks they have the best strategy when they go through winning streak, and then thinks they need to throw everything out the window when they go through losing streak. We just need to keep trading. So if that is any words of encouragement for any of you guys out there, I hope it's been well received. But yeah, I mean, this has been a good first session at this time. I'll kind of leave it at that. We'll be here at the same time tomorrow. Take our 75 bucks for the day and kind of continue on. So if you guys have any questions, comment the word more. Go get your absolute free ticket. Click the link in the description if you're on YouTube or Twitch and claim that free ticket. And I hope to see you guys there. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.